Coming up on The Cut, we find out more about what the latest Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine will look like for teenagers.
We also discuss what Amazon workers are deciding in Alabama, what the latest Gatorade technology looks like for those who are active, and more. Good evening and welcome to The Cut. I'm Jessica Herrera.
And I'm Tabitha Bland. Thank you for joining us.
We're happy to be back. Although the show will continue virtually this season, we will continue to be your source for the latest news coverage. The first single-dose vaccine for COVID-19 made by Johnson & Johnson has been given emergency use authorization by the FDA. Cut reporter Daniel Ogas explains more.
The United States now has a third vaccine to assist in the fight against COVID-19. On Sunday, February 28th, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommended the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine for people 18 years of age and older. This was the last step required to officially make the vaccine available to the public after it was given emergency use authorization by the FDA. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said that the new vaccine provides, quote, more options and flexibility for the public, jurisdictions, and vaccine providers, end quote. In clinical trials, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was 85% effective in preventing severe or critical illness and 66% effective in preventing symptomatic illness 28 days after vaccination. More importantly, it was 100% effective in preventing both hospitalization and death due to COVID-19. This is the first vaccine that has been tested against all new concerning variants and was proven to be effective against all of them. The CDC did not weigh in on whether certain individuals should opt for a specific vaccine, being that the double dose options from Pfizer and Moderna are 94 to 95% effective against the virus. Dr. Walensky said that, quote, getting vaccinated with the first vaccine available to you will help protect all of us from COVID-19. Johnson & Johnson began shipping out 4 million doses of their vaccine earlier this week and are expected to increase supply in the coming weeks and months. Reporting for the Cut Network, I'm Daniel Ogas.
The House has passed a $1.9 trillion relief plan that includes everything from COVID vaccines to the amount people receive in stimulus checks. We now find out more from Cut reporter Alicia Singh.
On Saturday, February 27th, the House of Representatives passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus plan for coronavirus relief. Representatives voted mostly along party lines, with Democrats winning 219 yeses to 212 noes. This legislation is Biden's first major agenda item and includes expanding the number of people receiving the $1,400 stimulus check, increasing the funding for vaccine distribution, and more. The Senate began discussing the bill earlier this week and are already making adjustments to the legislation. On Wednesday, March 3rd, Senate Democrats agreed to lower the upper income limit for those receiving the stimulus check. The original bill stated that individuals earning below $75,000 per year will receive the full $1,400, and that individuals making between $75,000 and $100,000 a year would receive partial payments. Now, under these changes, individuals making $75,000 a year or less will still receive full payment, but those making $80,000 a year or more would no longer receive any form of stimulus check. The Senate will continue to make changes throughout the week, attempting to please the moderates in either party. With the Senate split 50-50, Democrats will need to vote unitedly in order to pass this legislation. For The Cut, I'm Alicia Singh.
Amazon workers in Alabama are now voting on what could be a big step for Amazon workers, especially during the pandemic. Reporter Kaden Ryback has the latest update on the story.
The rallying cry to unionize can be heard coming from Amazon employees in Alabama this week as organizers are attempting to garner support for the biggest unionization push in Amazon's history.
Workers at an Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama, are voting whether or not to join the retail, wholesale, and department store union. Many workers hope that the union will fight for higher pay, more break time, and for more transparency by Amazon. If the unionization effort succeeds, the employees will become the first ever Amazon employees to unionize. Amazon has a history of crushing attempts to organize labor, such as last year when an Amazon employee in New York was fired after organizing a walkout to push the company into providing more safety measures to protect employees from the coronavirus. Several other workers were also fired after publicly criticizing Amazon, according to AP News. On top of this, Alabama has implemented right-to-work laws that allow workers not to pay unions if they are a member, diminishing unions' financial abilities in the state. Despite the challenges, unionizers were given a jolt of energy earlier this week from President Joe Biden, who released a 2-minute video voicing his support for the unionization push without explicitly stating the name of Amazon. His message was seen as a display of his administration's support for organized labor.
Voting by mail will continue until the end of March. A majority of the location's 6,000 employees have to vote yes in order to unionize. This is Caden Ryback for the Cut Network.
Director of the movie Nomadland has made history at the Golden Globes this past week. Cut reporter Maria Stobbs reveals who that director is and what they won. Maria?
During Sunday night's 78th annual Golden Globes, Chloe Zhao made history when she won Best Director for her drama Nomadland, making her the second woman ever to win Best Director and the only Asian woman ever to win this award. Chloe Zhao's nomination alone for Best Director already made history, as a total of only 8 women have been nominated for the award since the Golden Globes began, according to CNN. Zhao sat alongside Regina King for One Night in Miami and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, making it the first time multiple women were nominated in the Best Director category. Nomadland is about a woman who started a journey through the American West, living as a modern-day nomad after she lost everything in the Great Recession. During Zhao's speech, she thanked the film's cast as well as the nomads who shared their stories. She quoted one of the nomads, Bob Wells, as he shared a message about compassion.
Compassion is the breakdown of all the barriers between us. A heart-to-heart bonding. Your pain is my pain. Now, this is why I fell in love with making movies and telling stories, because it gave us a chance to laugh and cry together. And it gave us a chance to learn from each other and to have more compassion for each other. So thank you.
Up until now, the only time a woman had won this trophy was in 1984, when Barbra Streisand directed Yentl. After the award show, Streisand tweeted, quote, "It's about time. Congratulations, Chloe. Well deserved." Nomadland is now streaming on Hulu. For The Cut, I'm Maria Stobbs.
For our last story of the night, my fellow anchor Tabitha Bland explains to us how the Gatorade GX sweat patch measures and analyzes what our body needs just by our sweat.
Gatorade has been developing new technology that relies on sweat in order to work. The Gatorade GX sweat patch was designed to measure your sweat, analyze the activity associated with it, and create recommendations for future hydration. It can also create suggestions for electrolyte consumption. The patch is placed on your inner left arm and it absorbs the sweat from the skin. From there, it recognizes how much fluid and sodium is being lost through perspiration and measures what your body needs to replenish. The patch itself is only able to absorb sweat, but not actually display the results. This is where your smartphone comes into play. Before you work out wearing your patch, you must download the Gatorade GX app to your device from the App Store. This app houses your sweat profile, which is a fancy way of saying data. This profile is where you can access your personal hydration recommendations. This new technology is not only beneficial to athletes, but anyone who takes part in high-intensity workouts. The patches come in packs of 2 and can be purchased from Gatorade.com. For The Cut, I'm Tabitha Bland.
Well, it looks like that's it for this week's episode. You can catch us back here in 2 weeks. But for our latest coverage, you can visit the Cut Network on YouTube.
And for a behind-the-scenes look at our content, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @the_cut_network and Twitter at @the_cut_ASU.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.